Welcome to this deep dive. You know, if you're learning English, you probably know that feeling.
Oh, yeah.
You're putting in the work, you're practicing, maybe taking classes, but sometimes it just feels like you're, well, stuck.
Like you're running in place.
Exactly, like you're not really moving forward at all.
And that feeling is just so common, isn't it? Language learning, it's not always a straight lineup. You hit these plateaus, you get frustrated,
Yeah,
and you start wondering, am I actually getting any better?
right. But the thing is, you often are making really good progress. You just might not be noticing the right signs.
That's it.
We've been looking at this really helpful document, actually, that lays out 5 key signs, indicators that show you are improving, even when it doesn't feel like it.
So our mission today is basically to unpack these 5 signs. We'll, dig into what they really mean, why they're important signs.
And how spotting them can really shift your perspective. Right?
Totally. It helps you see those hidden markers that you're getting better at English. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive in. The first sign from the material, it's maybe one of the biggest shifts. You start actually thinking in English, naturally.
That's a huge one.
Mm,
The document actually calls this internalization of the language.
mm.
It means you're moving away from translating everything in your head first.
Okay. So less of the, how do I say this word, than this word, and more just the English thought appearing.
Exactly. Your brain just kind of goes there directly. It means the basic building blocks, the vocabulary, the grammar, they're becoming more automatic.
Hmm.
You might just notice it in really small ways at first. Maybe you're thinking about what to buy at the store, what you need to do later, and little English sentences just pop into your head. No real effort.
Wow. And why is that little mental switch? Why is it such a big deal?
Well, it shows your brain is genuinely adapting. It's starting to operate in English. It cuts down the mental processing time.
Right? Less work.
Yeah. So when you stop constantly translating, your reaction time speeds up, your speaking gets smoother.
More natural.
Exactly. And you start using phrases that sound more like, well, English instead of just word-for-word translations from your own language. It's like your brain's installing the English software update.
Huh. I like that analogy. So, okay, listeners, if you catch yourself having those little internal English monologues, even tiny ones, that's actually huge. Celebrate it.
Definitely. Your brain's doing some serious work behind the scenes there.
Okay, so that thinking in English,
Yeah.
it leads pretty naturally into the second sign, doesn't it? Which is you start understanding without translating every single word.
Right. This is what the source calls developing global comprehension. It also mentions building linguistic intuition. Basically, you stop getting hung up on every unfamiliar word. Your brain starts piecing together the overall meaning from the whole sentence or the conversation or whatever you're listening to.
I liked the examples they gave for this, like maybe you're watching a TV show or listening to a song. You miss a few words here and there, but you totally get what's going on, right? Or you understand the feeling, the main idea. You use the context.
Precisely. And that skill is just, well, essential for real life. In a normal conversation, people don't stop for you to look up every word.
No, definitely not.
Your brain has to process quickly, grab the main points, and sort of fill in the gaps using the bigger picture.
So if you find you can follow the gist of something like a chat or maybe a short video, even an article without knowing every single word, that's a massive sign.
It really is. It shows your comprehension is becoming much more practical, more functional. You're building that intuition, that feel for the language.
You're moving past that beginner stage where one unknown word can just completely stop you.
Yeah, you're navigating the language more like a native speaker does, using context to figure things out.
Okay, moving on. Sign number 3 tackles something we all deal with. Mistakes. The sign is you make fewer basic mistakes, and this is key. You start correcting yourself.
Yes. This is such a clear indicator that the basic rules, the foundations of English, are starting to really stick.
Like those really common ones, forgetting the is for he shite verbs.
Yeah, exactly. Or mixing up past tenses, or maybe confusing much and many, those kinds of things. Everyone does them at first.
But the document made a good point. Real progress isn't about suddenly becoming perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Right.
It's about making fewer of those really common, basic slip-ups. And crucially, when you do make one, you kind of hear it yourself.
And you fix it. Often without even thinking too hard about it.
Yeah.
That self-correction muscle is so important. It means your internal English checker is switched on. Your brain has developed what the source calls a sense of the language.
So something comes out wrong and it just feels a bit off to you now.
Uh-huh. Even if you couldn't write down the grammar rule perfectly, you sense it wasn't quite right.
That means you're really internalizing it. You're becoming your own quality control.
And the source also mentions you start paying more attention to how you actually sound. Your pronunciation, maybe the rhythm, the intonation. You're aiming for, not just getting the message across, but sounding more natural.
Right, more correct. So pay attention when you catch yourself backtracking and fixing a word or a phrase. That's not failure, that's actually solid proof your language sense is getting sharper.
Absolutely, it's a really positive sign.
Okay, here's where things really start to connect, I think. Sign number 4. You find you can have spontaneous conversations on different topics.
Yes, this is a big leap from beginner level. Think about those early conversations. They're often very predictable, aren't they?
Totally. Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Where are you from? Very much sticking to a script. Ordering coffee, asking for basic directions. Useful stuff, but limited. So this 4th sign means you can go off script. You can actually just chat informally about your day, or maybe a film you saw, your hobbies, something in the news.
Stuff you haven't specifically prepared for.
Exactly. It shows you can pull together your vocabulary, your listening skills, your grammar, and think quickly enough to just interact freely.
The document highlights that part of this is being able to, think on your feet, right? If you can't find the exact word.
Yeah, you don't just freeze, you pause, maybe you find another way to say it, use a synonym or describe the idea. You keep the conversation flowing.
That's a great skill.
And you start using those little conversational lubricants naturally. Things like, or actually,
Yeah, the fillers that make speech sound smooth.
Right? Maybe you even try out a few simple idioms or phrasal verbs. It all shows you're developing genuine communicative ability. You can actually talk to people.
So if you find yourself jumping into conversations or keeping a chat going longer than you expected about different things, that's brilliant. You're building that conversational flexibility.
Definitely something to feel good about.
And that brings us to the 5th sign. For a lot of people, I think this is the ultimate goal, maybe. It's when enjoying stuff in English stops feeling like hard work.
Yes. You enjoy consuming content in English.
Yeah.
Without it feeling like a huge effort.
Watching movies, reading books, listening to podcasts, like this one.
Exactly. It starts to feel like, normal leisure time, not a chore you have to do for practice.
Because at the beginning, watching a show without any subtitles can feel really intense, right? You're straining to catch every word.
Oh, absolutely. It's exhausting. But when you reach this stage, sign number 5, your ear has tuned in. You're more used to different accents, different speeds of talking.
You can follow complicated stories.
Understand jokes, maybe pick up on irony or cultural references.
Connect with the characters or the emotions.
Yes, all in English. The language itself stops being this big obstacle you have to climb over.
It becomes the window or the door. You're not just learning English anymore. You're using English to get to the things you're interested in. Films, articles, videos, whatever.
And the best part is, that enjoyment then fuels more learning. When you consume content you genuinely like, you're effortlessly reinforcing everything else. Vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, cultural understanding.
It makes practice sustainable because it's fun.
Totally. It's a virtuous cycle. So if you find yourself choosing English content just because you want to, because you enjoy it, that's a really powerful sign. You've hit a new level of fluency and comfort.
So looking at all 5 signs together, thinking in English, understanding the gist without translating, self-correcting, having spontaneous chats, and actually enjoying English media. It gives a much richer picture of progress, doesn't it?
It really does. It goes way beyond just, test scores or how many grammar rules.
Yeah, then document reminds us, look, the path isn't always going to be perfectly smooth. You'll have good days, bad days.
Those frustrating moments where you feel stuck again, that's normal.
But consistency really is the key, isn't it? Like training a muscle, the source says.
Every time you practice, every little moment you experience one of these signs, thinking a thought in English, understanding a sentence, fixing a mistake, having a quick chat, enjoying a song, you're strengthening that language muscle.
And the final takeaway from the material we looked at, it's that the real goal isn't just about passing a test or achieving perfection.
No, it's about using the language, using it to connect with others, to learn things, for work, for travel.
And just to enjoy life more, right? To access more of the world.
Exactly. So if you're starting to do any of those things, even in small ways, experiencing these signs, you are definitely on the right track. You're making real progress.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a little something for you to think about. Which one of these 5 signs feels the most real for you right now? Where are you noticing progress?
Good question.
And then maybe think about the others. Is there one small step you could take, maybe this week, to deliberately practice or look out for one of the other signs?
Just noticing these things, celebrating those small wins, can make the whole learning journey feel, well, a lot more positive.
It really can. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Goodbye for now.